Are you a film fan who loves the ultimate home video experience? Look no further than The Disconnected. Your host, Ryan Verrill, is your go-to source for the latest and most accurate information on home video releases, exclusive interviews with industry insiders and filmmakers, and has established a thriving community where every film and physical media enthusiast feels welcome. From hidden gems to blockbuster hits, The Disconnected brings you insider knowledge and a welcoming space to share your love of cinema. Watch every Thursday night at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific for the live announcements show and follow The Disconnected on social media to stay updated. Subscribe to The Disconnected on YouTube or on the podcast provider of your choice and dive into a world where every movie night is an adventure.
If you're looking for more horror outside of the mainstream, look no further than Unsung Horrors, a podcast about underseen horror movies. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica. Every other week, we'll cover a horror movie with fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. We'll even give you double feature recommendations to pair with the movies we discuss.
From gothic to shot on video, from slashers to comedies, from giallo to J-horror. We'll cover all the subgenres. So join us as we unearth these hidden gems of horror.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Unsung Horrors, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello and welcome to Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys. My name is Hunter. In this podcast, I'll be joined by a different guest each week to discuss a classic Western movie or TV show. I've been a fan of classic Westerns for as long as I can remember, and in recent years, they've become very nostalgic for me. I love the aesthetic, the tropes, and I love seeing different filmmakers' takes on them. At their best, they're incredibly entertaining, rewatchable, and some of my all-time favorite movies are Westerns. We'll mostly focus on Western movies made in Hollywood, but we'll also be covering spaghetti Westerns, and one thing I'm very excited to get into are Western TV shows. I've got some amazing guests coming on the show, film professors, historians, and podcasters. And Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys is part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, and many guests on the show will be from other shows on the network. Thanks for listening.
Welcome to the Life and Times of Captain Barney Miller podcast. I'm your host, Mike White. Joining me, of course, is the one and only, the rookie, Chris Stashew.
I'm in love. Have you seen the movie Laura? I'm in love with a woman that I can't have. Harris, do you want to go see that movie later? It's like the greatest gay joke in the history of Barney Miller.
Yeah.
Or is Dietrich gay?
Maybe.
Questions will be answered on this episode.
Just wants to kiki with Harris. Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, boy. We are talking about 3 episodes of the classic show Barney Miller on this one episode of our podcast. We are in the 5th season, just cracking the top of the 5th season, talking about The Search, which was released September 21st, 1978, Dog Days from September 28th, 1978, and The Baby Broker from October 5th, 1978. We've got the usual suspects here. We've got Noam Pitlik directing all 3 of these. We've got Reinhold Weege, Tony Sheehan, Bob Colleary, kind of a new name for me on those, but the other folks, we know them very well. We have a lot of familiar suspects on this episode.
Oh, yeah. Including people that have nothing to do with the show, like Bruce Kirby showing up.
Yeah. Always nice to see Bruce.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah. The recognizable face of Bruce Kirby, my Lord. I mean, when he walks in this first episode in The Search, I was like, man, he's just, again, he's Bruno Kirby's dad, right?
Right. Exactly. Oh, and you're going to see a lot of him when we're watching Columbo. He is a regular Columbo dude.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was also in The Sopranos. He played he plays this kind of asshole doctor Italian character who hates how Italian, like provincial Italian The Sopranos are. So I was like, when I saw him, I was like, oh my God, he's from The Sopranos. But this episode has, I guess, one of the coming of fruition of one of the kind of holdover gags from the show. It's kind of the show's holdover gag of them going in drag.
Oh, yeah.
Cross-dressing, I guess.
Which was funny because I think you just mentioned last episode, you're like, man, they haven't done that in a while. And then boom, here it is.
And it's played differently in this episode than I was expecting.
Yeah, this one, the way that Wojo is giggling like a little schoolgirl about, oh, hey, Harris is going to have to go and drag for the stakeout stuff. I'm just like, really? Okay. And then Barney's kind of all over. I'm like, why is that so funny? But has
Wojo not dressed up yet? Because they said he had.
Right.
So so hold on a second. So a show like this that we both love, that has taken the opportunity to show the characters cross-dress and has made a point, didn't show Wojo doing it? Really?
It feels like he must have, right?
Well, they said he did.
Yeah.
I mean, they make a point in this episode of saying like, la, 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 Wojo, when you had to do it. And it's like, wait a second. Like, hold on a second. Like, when did he do it?
Right.
Or were they just saying like his opinion on it has changed? But like, I felt like they said he did it.
Right.
It's like, why else would his opinion about it change if he didn't have to do it?
Mm-hmm.
It was weird because I was like, they would have not shown that, right? They would have shown Wojo. And see, I can't remember them doing it, but we didn't miss it.
I just remember Fish more than anybody. I remember Fish.
I remember Fish as well.
And I don't think we've ever seen Yamana do it.
And I would wager a guess, given where the real world is going with him, I don't think we're probably going to.
No.
But Max Gale, I would have figured.
I would have thought so too.
And he seems like a pretty liberal guy. I don't feel like he would have been like, I'm not doing that.
No.
This guy lived out in a teepee on his property. Yeah, well, the character. Sure.
Yes.
Max Gale, the man, like, I'm not sure he would have had like a... But I like the conceit of this episode. It's interesting, right? This woman who's looking for her father, and he isn't her father, but he is her father.
Right. Well, and the woman played by Jenny O'Hare as Teresa Schnabel.
Mrs. Schnabel.
She is still working today, and she's a pretty familiar face. Like, that voice is super familiar, but then you're just like, okay, yeah, she's on Transparent and the Mindy Project. She was in Devil. I'm like,
she was the devil in Devil. I'm pretty sure that's
spoilers.
Movie's 12 years old.
I still haven't watched it yet.
That's fair, but
it takes me a long time to prepare to see an M. Night Shyamalan produced film.
That's fair, but also on my podcast, The Culture Cast, we have a statute of limitations for spoilers. It's 10 years. Like, I mean, let me put it this way. You've seen that movie before. It's essentially a shitty Twilight Zone episode. There are 4 people trapped in an elevator and they find out about the terrible things they did in their lives and they're faced with those things. What does that sound like?
What? That sounds so original.
Twilight Zone all the way. Yeah. Or Tales from the Crypt or Tales from the Dark Side. I do like the whole mustache thing. I like how Ron Glass is just taking Barney to task about his mustache.
I love that. I also love that, of course, Harris does not buy off the rack and that he has to have like the top tier shoes. He's getting his dress fitted and getting some beadwork done. All this. It was fantastic.
It's just a couple of changes, Barney.
Yeah.
Hey, come on. Harris is such a fucking cool customer. Like, just the coolest character on this show. One of the coolest police officer characters I can really think of. He's so unflappable, period.
Oh, yeah. There's only a few times like when he gets dirty. He does not like that at all because it messes up his clothes.
Right. And essentially anytime he has to deal with Dietrich, he's a little flapped. But to be fair, dealing with Dietrich seems like dealing with a space alien from the planet Neptune. So
when they said that Mr. Schnabel was at the Continental Spa, I was just like, is he going to be Marty? Is that Marty's last name? Like, I was waiting for Mr. Schnabel to come in and be flamboyantly gay because he's at the Continental Spa. And I'm just like, oh yeah, the spas in the 70s in New York. Yeah, gay sex all over the place. No. Anything but. This man, yes, he might have had some problems in the past, but it's all done now. And definitely he's a straight shooter, if you know what I mean.
It was problems with having sex with so many women.
Yeah. It sounded like he had a little case of the...
Right. Which is really funny because I mentioned that he shows up in The Sopranos. The character that he's playing in this show is actually very similar.
Oh, funny.
Very much like this just dickhead but like in that he's a doctor. In this, I don't understand why he's a dickhead in this. I don't understand his character, because he knows that that woman is his daughter.
Yeah.
And like, why at any point admit it? Like, why cave?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, I guess he might have some doubt, because it sounds like her mom might have gone out with a lot of the patients at this clinic. But yeah, I think he realizes for sure by the end, like, she's really his. And the way that he kind of like, it's a Barney Miller show. So he's just like, yeah, well, maybe we'll get together for Christmas kind of thing.
Right.
Like,
it's very Barney Miller. Right?
Yeah.
I honestly think that you kind of pointed something out that I did want to mention. Like, the show now has like, there's like a Barney Miller ending.
Yeah.
And I think it's this, like, people learn a lesson, they get close to being punished by the system, but ultimately people can, and honest to God, if you want me to synthesize the show down, the message of Barney Miller is, we don't need the cops to solve our problems. They can help facilitate them.
Yes.
And like, that's what almost every time in this show ends up happening, is someone learns a lesson through the Barney Miller and the men in the precinct. But very rarely do people ever go to jail. Everything is solved outside of the judicial system.
Yes.
Because nobody ever goes to jail. In the worst, they go to Bellevue, where they still probably end up getting out. So,
and they go into the holding cell, and that's where they get to really sit down and think about things, really evaluate their life, and be like, okay, I've made some bad decisions here. Maybe, Mr. Science is maybe blew up a little bit. He's upset. The kids are watching crappy TV, but why aren't they watching my stuff? And I'm thinking like Bill Nye or Beekman's World and these kind of things, or the original Mr. Wizard. I'm like, no, I mean, those are great shows. So
beating the shit out of can you imagine Bill Nye beating the shit out of the kids?
Yes, I can.
Bill. That's what they scream as they're running away from. I like that. I they don't show it obviously, but I like that this like little nebbish guy is chasing these children around, trying to kick the shit out of them because they were making fun of him. Like, that's pretty funny.
It was great C story.
Yeah. I think that this episode operates on all cylinders, and it tells a different Barney Miller kind of story than we're used to. Because like, there's like, what are the stakes in this episode really? Like, there aren't any. Like, that woman and her father, and like that the doctor, or the scientist is going to go out at the end somehow. So, but I like that this is kind of a rather chilled out episode of Barney Miller, and it has some pretty good jokes. I mean, the gag with Harris in the cross-dressing, and like him getting to the because it's the end of the episode, which I think is super duper smart that they leave it to the end. And I like that scene. That scene's mad progressive for this show.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like, what was going on? What was going on in that final scene? Right? It was weirdly progressive.
Can I talk about one very strange thing at the beginning of this episode?
Sure.
Dietrich's close-ups. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. What was going on with that?
That was so strange. It was like I don't know if the camera just wasn't set up right, or if they were like, hey, what's going on? Like, we need to reshoot this. But it felt like they said, all right, let's take you and put you against this like green wall in this ugly chair, and you just deliver your lines right here, and then we'll cut it in later on, because there's no matching. I mean, this is obviously shot post, because of the way that his arms move and stuff. We'll like cut back to the master shot, and his arms will be in different positions. And I'm just like, what is happening here? And just the way that the camera looks like if it were set up in that shot, it would have been like coming through the doorway.
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah,
some weird pickup shots, maybe.
Yeah, it was strange, man. I'd never seen anything like that before.
I don't know how that made it under the watchful eye of Noam Pitlik. These episodes are normally pretty flawless. It's honestly kind of shocking at not how well made the show is, but like, man, the show is really well made. There are very few times do we see the seams of this show. And this is a show that has ostensibly one set. One really kind of not much of a set. Like, I don't know how far forward it extends, but like far back, like I'm pretty sure the door to the locker room there's nothing back there.
Oh yeah. No, that takes you right off set.
Right. Yeah. And like, I assume that Barney's office is a real set connected to the rest, but like Barney's set is not 4 wall.
No.
It's like 2. It's the one behind the sofa and the one behind, I guess it's 3 walls.
3 walls, yeah.
Yeah. But like, yeah, I don't know. Like the show is always so well made. It was such a weird thing. Like they never do this. They never do this. I think it must have just been like they had no other choice. Like get it out the door. Like,
yeah. I mean, I know like, Otto was saying that they would spend like late nights doing this stuff. So I'm just like, what did they decide we need better line readings or something happened with the take, just right. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there, but I'm glad that you noticed too, because I was just like, wow, this is really freaky to the point where I was like, I have to put this in my notes. Otherwise I'm going to forget. But
well, it's just, again, for me, it was just like a weird standout moment of the show, just not looking as good as it normally does. It still looks really good for a show.
Yeah.
Made in the mid 70s. Like,
oh yeah.
And I mean, I know it's because it lends itself to this like, timeless feel of that precinct, but that precinct only exists in the 70s. That doesn't exist like that now.
Right.
But it's so imbued with that 70s feel that like, even though it's clearly set in the 70s, it has that timeless quality to it. And it's so well made. I mean, so is Columbo. So was, well, maybe not Kolchak, but definitely Barney Miller and Columbo.
Yeah. I mean, I would say this room is not necessarily as iconic as Kolchak's office, but Kolchak's office was pretty well done and the decoration and everything. But I like this one better just because it feels more lived in and you can really see the grime a lot of times.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love the precinct itself as a character. We spend all of our time there. I mean, we've talked about this before on multiple episodes of the show. We're never going to see anything else.
Yeah.
We're going to see like snippets, maybe. We have seen so few times outside of the precinct, we could probably still count on 2 hands.
Yeah.
We're not to double digits yet, I don't think. We might not even be off of 1 hand, really. Maybe the first season, I think, had like the lion's share of us outside of the precinct.
Oh, yeah.
But I think we've 1 time last season, 2 times maybe. I know that like the eviction one with like the squatters, but like outside of that, I'm not sure there was another time. And like, again, like that's why the show feels so interesting in a way, because it could have fallen into this pitfall of like, it's a boring show set in a very set-bound precinct, but like it doesn't ever feel set-bound. It really doesn't, even though it's like the most set-bound show I've ever watched. And I've seen stuff like I Love Lucy, which is also very set-bound. But like this is for me, like if I ever want to point someone at like the show that's set-bound but still works, it's this one. Like these kinds of shows don't even work really.
No. And then even this, I don't know what this was shot on. This doesn't feel like it was shot on film. It feels like it was shot on maybe like 1-inch videotape or something.
Yeah,
but
the way that it looks, it sure does.
Yeah.
And then when they do stuff like those close-up shots, you can really tell because the quality is like severely diminished.
Yeah. It's like, can you guys maybe like, do a digital upgrade or something, add some special effects in here, some lasers, hey, Bond, like
just cuts to shots after the commercial of the Enterprise circling the planet. You know what? Say what you will about them doing that to the TOS. Those quality of life upgrades, they serve a purpose. I'm not sure I completely agree with them, but like, please give this show something. Cause like, God damn it. Like this show deserves the show ran so long and like, it is part of, in a lot of ways, like the culture of the 70s and it's an important TV show. Like why it hasn't gotten a significant reappraisal by one of these boutique DVD, I guess, releasers is kind of beyond me.
Well, one thing that might help spur that is something that we found out right before we started recording tonight, which is now Barney is on Amazon Prime. So now hopefully more people will start watching the show again.
And if people don't believe that that's how things actually happen in this world, the X-Files coming back is solely because of people actually watching it on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
X-Files was on Netflix in the early 10s, and X-Files came back because people were just blowing up Netflix with the X-Files. So if you watch a lot of something on a platform, they will actually take into consideration maybe doing something more with it. I'm not advocating to like bring Barney Miller back, but like a digital recorrection or something, because again, there are very few shows like this show.
Yeah.
And the show deserves it. Cause like if I Love Lucy got it, like this is classic television worth revisiting.
Definitely. We should note real quick that Mr. Science, he has been on this show many times. Arnie Freeman, he's been on here 3 times prior and will be on here 2 more times before the end of the series. And then I think, he lived until 1986, but this was one of his last things that he ever did was work on Barney Miller.
Yeah, and he plays the same character before this episode twice.
Yeah,
but
Mr.
he never plays the
Roaston.
same character again. So
yeah. So he's one of those familiar faces that we love to see around here, man.
Keep showing up.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I'm hoping that I know for sure we'll see Bruce Kirby again, but Bruce. We'll see him again when it comes to Columbo, but maybe we'll see him again on here. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is a very solid episode. Very quick. I was very surprised. A lot of these episodes that I watched last night, I'm just like, man, that just really cooks along. It takes the 30 minutes and just right through it.
Right. Oh, yeah. And that gag at the end really is like strange.
Oh, yeah.
Strange, like weird. It's tonally weird. Like I can't tell what kind of, I don't think it's, I don't know. Everybody all of a sudden in the precinct is very progressive and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But like, this is the same show that did have an episode titled Rape.
Well, it's weird because I think it's the next episode when Rosalind Cash shows up, she's dressed almost the same way that Harris had been dressed in the previous episode.
Yeah.
I was like, is that on purpose? Like even Andrea was like, is that the same outfit that Harris was wearing? I was like, I don't think it is, but yeah, she's as tall and statuesque as Harris was in his outfit.
I love me some Rosalind Cash, primarily because she plays John Emdahl in The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension.
For me, it's all about her kick-ass character in the Omega Man, especially when she's just like gunning down those zombie vampires and stuff with a machine gun. She's freaking awesome.
Still need to watch that movie. I've never seen any of those. Because that's Tim Matheson. It's Tim Matheson. That's Richard Matheson. That's an adaptation of I Am Legend, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm more of a fan of the Will Smith one myself.
Well, I especially like that happy ending version. And so that's why I'm excited for the sequel. So I really want to see more of Will Smith. I want to see him just burn up the box office again.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for this sequel to I Am Legend. Yeah.
And my favorite, I said this to Father Malone once, my favorite thing about the I Am Legend adaptations that we've gotten, nobody ever gives a shit about the actual title of the story and why it is the way it is.
Yes.
Why would anybody ever address that in any story they've ever done for the I Am Legend Like, why? That's the coolest part of the story, is like what the title means. And it's we don't even care. Like, whatever. CGI vampire zombies fighting Will Smith. Much more important.
It might be in the Vincent Price version. I can't remember because that one was actually adapted by Matheson. I think he might have been using an assumed name for that one when he adapted it. Yeah, that's a really good version, though I still prefer just having Charlton Heston out there in LA fighting against Anthony Zerbe, and just all of these like little blaxploitation touches to it and stuff, like Rosalind Cash. It's so good.
I need to watch the Omega Man. I've never seen it, but it's on a long list of those like 70s. It's a 70s sci-fi movie, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm 70s sci-fi is not something I'm super well versed in. So, but 70s cop TV shows, on the other hand, that's something I'm well versed in. It's like, it's genuinely funny to me how many of these cops, like this is the second, technically almost third, if you want to count Kolchak as kind of cop adjacent, but like, second cop show we've done now, Barney Miller. Or I guess this is the original one we did. Hill Street Blues?
Coming soon. This is yet another appearance of Joseph V. Perry, who is the owner of these dogs, and he's running a dogfight thing. I mean, that's pretty unsettling to me that there's this dogfighting ring going on and that he just sees nothing wrong with it. It's two fighters going against each other. Kind of unsettling. And that's where we get the name of the episode, Dog Days. So it's not necessarily about, August or anything, but it's about all of this dog fighting that's going on. And there's a dog that bites Wojo, and he's super afraid of getting all the rabies treatments. And I'm just like, this feels like a pet more than a like one of the fighters, but I guess he was one of the fighters. So you don't know what kind of diseases he may have. So there's this whole thing. We've got to find the dog. And then, of course, like you said, Chris, we can't leave the station. So the dog shows up at the station. The
dog is here, folks. He's here. He's here. This giant ass German Shepherd dragging Levitt in behind him.
Levitt is pretty great in this episode.
My God, Levitt is pretty great in both of the episodes.
Yes.
It's disgusting. I'm disgusted, frankly, that I actually have to say I like Levitt.
Yes.
I like how useless he is in this episode, and how he apologizes for his uselessness too.
I love when he gets pulled across the room by the dog and slams into the cage. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big ass German Shepherd, and Levitt is a small dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I will tell you, though, I really like the look of Joseph B. Perry. He's just he looks like such a dickhead.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, just like the characters that he plays, if you look through his IMDb, like, I'm not sure it tells the tale of his career, but if you look at him, you can imagine the kind of characters that he would play.
Right.
Because he just looks kind of like he's got a stick up his ass.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and the character that he plays in this episode, Lasorda, is kind of that way. I guess I don't know. I think this episode's more shocking that Barney pulls his gun and he's about to blow the dog away.
I know. I was like, what
happened to this show all of a sudden?
You've got
they never
a
pulled their
gun?
guns, and now obviously Barney's just going to blow the dog away.
Yeah.
So nonchalantly too. He's like sighting in. It's like, whoa, what?
Yeah, well, it's that whole thing. He doesn't want Wojo, like they have to get this dog tested, and he's going to do whatever he needs to get that dog, man. It was wild.
Yeah, and according to IMDb trivia, again, not to use them as the reference point of all reference points, but they claim that this is the only episode. Is the only episode? The first episode. Hold on.
I think it's the only
one. Yeah, this is supposedly the only episode that anyone draws a gun in the 12th precinct.
Wow. Well, that can't be true.
Right. It doesn't feel like it could be true.
Maybe one of the
precinct members.
Because there was the hostage one that happened a couple episodes ago where it was Don Calfa had a gun and and Barney's doing his whole thing. I'm holding my hands up for the audience at home, holding the hands up and just like, now wait a minute, you're going to want to think about this. But yeah, Don Calfa and his brother character, they both had guns, if memory serves. So it's got to be one of the actual policemen.
Yeah, the episode marks the only time. So it's a member of the 12th precinct, but that doesn't even feel right either.
Yeah, well, we didn't see Chano blow that guy away. That was off screen.
Drawn and aiming a gun. Are you telling me we never see Wojo Howitz aim a gun? Even in the stake of that? I mean, you know what? IMDb's got to be right. Maybe. I don't know. It feels like it can't be true.
Yeah. We'll have to test that out with Otto when he comes back for this season.
You tell me, what episode did the only member of the precinct ever draw a gun?
That's
Dog
right.
Days.
Yeah, he'll just jump right on.
I mean, if he very well might. You could message him right now and he might respond. He should know. If anyone should know, it should be the guy who wrote the tome that you can pick up, the Files of the Old 1-2, which is a great book that you can pick up over at
Amazon and Bear Manor Media.
Remember that? I know I was going to say Bareback Media. Different kind of book about men with mustaches.
Well, and speaking of mustaches, there is no mustache on Harris, and I love that he's using a mustache toupee, a merkin, if you will.
I was actually really curious because they have the whole B plot of the episode is Rosalind Cash, beautiful woman, Harris in love with women. So Harris is macking on Rosalind Cash, but you ask yourself, because we watch these episodes back to back, he did shave the mustache.
Yeah. What happened to the mustache?
He shaved it. You can't fake shaving a mustache off. There's no way to fake it. So the question then becomes, is that they let his mustache grow back and then they start filming, or is it a fake one? Ladies and gentlemen, they actually answered that question. I was shocked because that's continuity.
Yeah.
And there are few and far between times in this show that we have had continuity.
Exactly. Yeah, it's wild. And I really appreciate that it's there. And he is so concerned now about his masculinity that he's wearing the fake mustache. I'm like, yep. And when it starts to come off when he's talking to her,
Yeah, I was really glad that they used it because I was curious, like they could mine this for some really easy laughs or interesting jokes,
Right.
especially with the whole back and forth with Hal Linden and Ron Glass about his mustache the episode before. And they mentioned that too.
Yeah.
It's just all of a sudden, like there's continuity, but let me tell you something. We shouldn't be surprised because this is a continuity episode at its heart because apparently Barney and Liz are fucking separated.
Yeah.
What?
That's really kind of the heart of this whole
Off
episode.
screen, baby. Holy moly.
Yeah, she's on a vacation with the kids. And I like how he's like, oh, his daughter's now 21, I think he says.
Yeah,
and
that's what he
son's
says.
aged up as well. And I'm like, oh, time is passing. Liz is away. Of course, Dietrich's got to be like, well, taking separate vacations is very healthy. And then again, she could just be leaving him. I'm like, oh, geez.
So I guess by the end of the episode, we're led to believe that Barney and his wife are kaput.
Yeah, we're going to hear the big old DIVORCE coming up pretty soon here.
Yeah, which, I mean, we talked about it the last time we saw her, and It's not a surprise, but it's handled really poorly.
Yeah.
For a character that was billed in the credits of this show. I mean, again, the way the shows use Barbara Barry, I think one could make the case that she never should have been in the show to begin with.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, at this junction in time.
Right.
It is not fair to her. But at the same time, she was billed for like 3 seasons and she didn't do any work. So I don't know if she got money for those episodes she wasn't in. I would hope so. But she was billed for like 3 seasons at least as part of the main cast.
Mm-hmm.
But she was not. She was stopped being in episodes of the show after like the first season, really.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's just really poorly handled. It's essentially all handled through conversations on a telephone that you never hear.
Right.
Which is I don't know if it's a lazy technique of screenwriting, but it doesn't feel great because you can't hear the other side of the conversation. And Barbara Barry's not in the episode.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why they use this like kind of half-ass framing device of, oh, she's on the other end of the phone and they're communicating the messages that she's leaving for him. It's like, okay, so she's not in the episode.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a shame. It just feels like we have to write her out. We're trying to do the right thing, but it's really not the right thing. They should have just let it be. I mean, unless they introduce romance into Barney's life later on in this series, there's no reason to even address this stuff with Liz.
Right. Right. Exactly. Like essentially just like leave it alone. Don't even mention it. Like if somebody remembers and asks about her character, let that be their problem. Because like, again, like it's not like they mention her all the time. They go out of their way to mention her in this episode. But like, I can't remember the last time they mentioned her outside of when she just shows up. They don't just mention her. They don't mention her out of pocket the way Fish did with Bernice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Because that was like a constant. It's like, it's almost she's mentioned so much that she needs to show up. So you have a frame of reference as to who she is. Like Barney never even had to mention his wife. And Barney has had all of 2 encounters with women who have come on to him. That lawyer, I think, in that one episode. And a squatter woman, I think, a little bit. But like, it's not like
lady. Yeah.
Right. It's not like everybody's like creaming themselves over Barney Miller either. So I don't. Yeah. That's like the one small gray spot in this entire show is Barbara Barry's character. Because it doesn't need to be there. And now it's like the way they're handling it now, it's like it really shouldn't have. You should have just left it be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see season 6, what's going to happen with Barney's love life. And I kind of hope that they don't go down that path.
I was going to ask you, like, is that something you, as a fan of this show, want to see?
Not really. No.
Me either.
I'm fine with him being this benevolent dad type of character.
Right. And, like those times where women have flirted with him has been kind of cutesy, but like, where does that go? Again, like we don't see shit outside of the precinct. So why even bother? Like even with Wojo and I almost said Monique Marmolstein and Wentworth. Yeah. Monique Marmolstein would have been the answer I went to.
Yeah.
They really were not ever shown outside of the precinct together other than the time where it was necessitated by the plot.
Right, exactly.
It was like the stakeout. It was like Stakeout Part 2, essentially. Not like Part 2, but like the second time the show did that like stakeout thing.
Yeah, it was like a sting operation at the hotel or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But they never showed them outside of the show either. So at least out of the precinct. So yeah, I don't know why they did it. I mean, I guess somebody was just like, we really need to answer the question as to where Barney's wife has been.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure people were clamoring for that because again, the action and the bulk of the show's anything really is just the interaction between the main cast and the people who they're bringing in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's not even really any secondary characters in this show anymore. The people that are now part of the main cast, like James Gregory. Right. There's not even like the people that show up. I guess you could make the case that someone like Arnie Freeman is a series regular because he shows up like 6 times.
Right.
Or a guest character.
Yeah.
But like, that's the other thing about this show. Like the guest characters are always one-offs for the most part. So I don't know, like it's the way the show treated some of its characters, I think is always kind of strange. And I felt like they were just working it out while creating the show, which I mean, that's not new. So, but I think maybe the idea could have been refined down a little bit more before they launched the show. And obviously this was the second iteration of the show. I mean, the first version of the show was much more even about the things outside of the precinct. So
yeah, it feels like they course corrected, but they didn't course correct enough.
Right. 100% agree.
Yeah.
It feels like just 1 or 2 degrees more would have fixed, I think, the bulk majority of the problems. Like, why does Barney even need to be married?
Mm-hmm.
They've never really done anything. Like, take Liz aside. They've never really even done anything with the fact that he is married. So, but Fish was the one where that was the marriage was the whole thing.
Right. Yeah. He was defined by that bad marriage. Whereas Yamana, I'm like, is he married? Is he just some old dude, what was his backstory to things? Like, did he become an itinerant gambler and that's when his gal left him back in, I don't know, 55 or something? I don't know. What's your story, Yamana?
Right. And that's the funny thing. We don't need to know
it.
Well, and that's the funny thing. I feel like the show started out as, it was obviously the Barney Miller show. And then I bet at some point they probably even regretted naming the show Barney Miller. You know what I mean? Because like they could have named it like the 12th the police of the 12th precinct or something like that.
Right.
Because again, like Barney is not even really the main character of the show anymore. It is like, I would contend now that where we are now in the 5th season, the show is pure ensemble. And like, I think maybe this is like the final like vestiges of it not being an ensemble show is like the Barney's unnecessary backstory with his wife.
Right.
Because nobody else has one. Like you said, like nobody at this point.
Well, it's like they didn't name, what's that show called? Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They didn't name that after that dickhead from Saturday Night Live. I can't remember.
Andy Samberg.
Andy Samberg. But they could have. I mean, he's the main character. So
Right. Right. And that's like my contention with Barney Miller is like at some point, and I don't think it was immediately. I think it took like a season to really get it into, or 2 probably, to get it into that ensemble mode. But the show really is an ensemble cast. And yeah, it is helmed by Hal Linden, but Hal Linden is the straight man of the show. We talked about that last time. And in him being the straight man of the show, he is the main character because a lot of the jokes run through him. But it's an ensemble. He's not really the main character. Exactly. So this is like one of these weird, just like vestiges of a different show that is not this one. And yeah, maybe we don't ever have to hear about Liz again, which I would be okay with.
There's going to be at least one more Liz. I guarantee it. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's back one more time. Just
I figured
seal the deal. Yeah. You mentioned the opening credits and with Liz's appearance there, and I was very shocked to see a different opening ensemble in the next episode, The Baby Broker. All of a sudden, Dietrich and Levitt have their own cards. They are not together in that 2-shot where they interact a little bit. Instead, we've got them now by themselves. I'm like, all right, kind of cool.
And I'm okay with it because I hate to say this.
I know. We knew it was coming. I don't
want to say it.
We knew it was coming.
This is the first time where I'm like, Levitt is the best part of this episode. Not only is he the best part of the episode, he saves this episode from being bad.
Yeah. Levitt, he'd work 37 hours and then somehow he gets his hands on some amphetamines.
Meth. I'm assuming it's meth, right?
I was thinking uppers myself. But
that's methamphetamine, so it's like Adderall, right?
Pretty wild that he's on those little yellow pills and just at least for a few minutes until it finally catches up with him and he conks right out.
Crashes real hard.
Yeah.
Snoring in Barney's chair. Like that, the sad thing about this episode is it is the first time I've liked Levitt, and almost nothing else in this episode works for me.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind the Ivor Francis character. He reminded me a lot of the professors from Howard Hawks's Ball of Fire, where they're putting together a dictionary of slang, but his dictionary is all about swear words and epithets. So that was kind of interesting, him showing up, but that whole thing of that he insulted this woman, but then she's taking a bath and she won't come out of the bath. So that's why they let him go. That's really weak sauce.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly feel like what would have been better would have been giving that story a little bit more time, a little bit more weight, a little bit more room to breathe, because it really feels like they devote so much of the episode to this adoption story. And like the compelling story in the episode is the stuff with Levitt because it's funny, and then the stuff with Ivor Francis because it's also funny. Like him being like, what did he say? What was that word? Like, what are they saying? Like that's leading down an interesting comedic road. And then it's like, nope, bam, right back to this really boring storyline with these two people who are trying to adopt a baby, or I guess adopt a baby from a woman who's having it, who's German, who wants to go back to Germany to keep the baby for whatever reason. And there's this lawyer who brokers the deal. And for whatever reason, it takes way too long for them to realize Dietrich speaks German. Why the fuck did they not? This guy's name is Dietrich.
Well, and
Dietrich.
He is Dietrich. And it's just like, as soon as they're like, oh, we don't have anyone that speaks German, I'm like, well, where's Dietrich? He's got to know how to speak German.
This motherfucker knows everything. He's an alien.
Yes, he has to know.
He's a gay alien from the planet Neptune at this point, because he's also gay now. Headcanon Dietrich's gay. Look, Ron Glass is a good-looking guy, and Ron Glass is a good-looking woman. So there you go. I don't fault Dietrich, but I do fault this episode for not going the moment this woman walks in and starts speaking German, he would have piped up. You know, he would have said something. Yeah. And it's so lazy that they're like, nah, he's off screen. It's like, where was he?
Right.
Because he just like walks in, he's like, bitte nach. It's like, wait, what? Like, why wasn't this part of this to begin with?
It should have been like he's out doing something, and then he brings in the professor with the smut dictionary, and then it's like, oh, what do we have here? And then starts speaking German. But it's just like, where'd he go? Is he in the bathroom like Fish?
Right. That was the one kind of weird thing about this episode. That's like, you've got this woman who speaks German, and Landisberg's character's last name is Dietrich. Right. And you know he's a weirdo, and you know this dude speaks German. And they do have him speak German. It's just like, it takes way too long to get there. And they don't really do anything with it.
Well, this whole plot of the surrogate motherhood thing, it feels too similar to stuff that we've seen before. And even that they have talk of test tube babies towards the end of it. And of course, the father's just like, oh, no, we can't do anything like that. I'm just like, wait a second. Wasn't there just a joke recently about a couple that was trying to do in vitro? And the guy looked a little bit like Dietrich. And so it was basically like, if his swimmers don't work, maybe this woman would sleep with Dietrich.
Yeah.
Dietrich can't be gay because he's fucking nuns on this show.
That's fair. But what if he's bisexual?
He can be bi. That's absolutely fine.
I think he is bisexual at this point. Like,
I think he's omnisexual.
He could be pansexual even. What's funny is, like, at this point, that joke that they made really was not a joke. Like, I don't know what it was. Like, it seemed like a genuine compliment. Like, Dietrich is an interesting character because, like, I wish this is so terrible. Wouldn't it have been better if they had given him his own show?
Yeah, kind of. I would have been fine with that, but he would have had to have surrounded himself with other more normal people. Otherwise, it would just have been too weird.
Right.
But yeah, had Steve Landisberg at the end of Barney Miller moved out to California and gone to a different precinct, and all of a sudden it's a whole different bunch of people.
You're making me want to see this so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Occasionally Levitt stops by because now he's like a small town sheriff someplace, right?
Oh, my God. Like a Barney Fife-ass guy?
Oh, yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I want this show so badly now. God, yeah. I mean, just what's Stephen Wright up to? He's essentially Steve Landisberg reincarnated.
Yeah, why not?
Mitch Hedberg's also dead, so never mind.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, like, the Landisberg character, Landisberg is just a fantastic actor, and the Dietrich character, the Dietrich character is the best part of the show now, like almost bar none. And like he's such a good part of the show that, unlike Fish, he's not getting in the way of everything else. That was the other problem. By the end of it, Fish, I was just like, just go. I mean, you can go listen to those episodes where like Fish needs to get out of here. But like, I don't know if I'll get to that point with Dietrich. I hope that I don't. Maybe he'll become too quirky, but he's not there yet.
There were a couple times, I think, either in this episode or the previous one, where it would be like joke, pause, Dietrich's line. And I'm just like, I don't know if I need that little button on everything from Arthur or not. But it's like, just be careful. Don't overuse this guy because he's so good. You don't need to have him comment on every joke.
Which is also my concern with this show, because that's what happened to Fish.
Yeah.
Where it's like, and what does old Fish have to say? And it's like, I don't fucking care anymore. Because it's probably going to be
what my adenoids said.
Yeah. Oh, my hemorrhoids. Okay. Like, man, we really turned our opinion on Abe Vigoda real hard. But again, it's just really that character of Fish just I don't think he outgrew the show. I think the show outgrew him. Yeah.
Now, I would give Abe Vigoda a chance, just for old time's sake. But, other people wouldn't. Other people might have to say, it's business, Solly.
Wow. Sympathetic.
Sorry. I just rewatched that scene recently, and I'm just like, it's so good.
Everything. I mean, Abe, that's the sad thing is like Abe Vigoda is a great actor.
Oh yeah.
The Fish character like became
too
bad.
Much.
Yeah. It just got in the way of everything.
Yeah.
Which is why like the concern with Landisberg is genuine, because like he's so good that like I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you start running all the jokes through him, like, okay, so he's the Patrick Ewing of the show. The offense goes through him, but like at some point we're going to get tired of that.
Right.
And not want to see it anymore. And like, it's not there yet, but like it could get there very easily.
Well, and it was nice that we had a little bit of Jack Sue in this episode, because it's like, finally, like have him at the intro, and this whole thing about if you drive south from Detroit, what's the first foreign country that you hit, which is a nice Detroit factoid.
I was wondering, I was like, is Mike smiling?
Oh yeah.
Mike must be smiling here for this Detroit Facts with Mike White. Detroit's own Mike White loves Detroit Facts.
Exactly.
That was a good one. I was thinking to myself, I was like, Mike's got to be enjoying it. Mike's enjoying this one.
Yeah, I was very happy. Yeah. Anytime Detroit gets a mention in any sort of media, I'm just like, oh, that's cool. And most of the time it's like people just shitting on our city, but that's okay. We can take it. Yeah.
Fuck those people.
You got to be nice to them people in Detroit. They're living in Mad Max times.
You guys eat pizza cooked in aluminum pans. I don't know what the fuck you guys, black aluminum pans. You guys don't know what the fuck you guys are doing. You're doing it. And that's all that matters.
Detroit style. I don't even know what that is.
It's good,
to me,
man.
That's pizza.
It's Little Caesar style pizza. That's what it is.
Good Lord. Yeah.
Hey, Detroit's the town that Little Caesars built.
That's true. And Domino's. And
all those car companies.
Oh yeah.
Just all those, but definitely pizza.
Yeah, we can claim that now.
I thought that was funny. I was like, a Detroit fact of all things, and I love how Barney's a fucking dick.
Oh
what is that all about?
Nick, it's 9:00.
Like, dude, like he's like, by the way, I'm actually here early. You fuck.
Yeah, I love it.
And then Barney's like, well, I don't know how to do it, and like he tries to pivot so hard, it's like, ooh, yikes, cringe, ooh, little much there.
Yeah,
but yeah, man, it's too bad really, because Phoebe Doran and Frederick Cook and Michael Durrell, like, just not given a damn thing to do. And that storyline is not interesting. I'm sorry. Like, is it meant, it's not funny. And so is it supposed to be serious? Are we supposed to be like, we're shedding a light on what's going on in New York? Like, it wasn't that either. So I don't know what was going on, but like a baby mill is what they were talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not the most interesting subject material for this show.
No.
We've seen, I would have preferred another, sex worker episode, really.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. This is like babies and pregnancy, and I don't know. And then like the angle of the woman speaking German, like what it feels solely for Landisberg jokes, but then they don't really make any.
No.
There's like two.
Right.
The like, condensed for time joke.
Yes.
And then
just that he speaks
the joke
German?
that he speaks German.
Yeah. Yeah. This one could have been a lot better. There's a couple moments, but yeah, for the most part, it's like, all right. And again, I think Harris doesn't have the mustache. So kind of nice.
Yeah. And Ron Carey is actually pretty good. So hell has officially frozen over. He's the best part of this episode, period. Like his mannerisms are super weird. He's like kind of like twitchy and just seems like, the way people get when they're tired. If you've been super tired and stayed up all night, the way you can get. And he does a pretty good job of doing it. I don't know if he didn't probably stay up, but when you first see him, he looks like when Barney's talking to him, he's like, "Hey, Barney, for 33 hours." He looks like death warmed over. They made him look like old. They definitely old manned him up a little bit with some makeup, but he's great. I'm like I said, hell has frozen over. Ron Carey is the best part of this episode.
Ron Carey, method actor.
Yeah.
No, Noam. I gotta stay up for another 24 hours here.
I will tell you, man, like, in all honesty, I used to stay up all the time.
Wow.
Pulling all-nighters. Dude, I can't fathom doing that now.
No.
Oh my God. And like he's in his like 40s. And so his character is supposed to be like a cop doing a 33-hour beat. Like
Yeah,
right. You're gonna need more than meth to stay on your feet, dude. Like
I can see why he suddenly, even though he's got the pills, he ends up falling asleep.
Yeah, just like dead to the world.
That was a nice moment at the end with Barney. Yeah,
it's again, like that's the other thing. There's a nice moment between Barney and Ron Carey, and we haven't gotten a lot of those yet. So I don't know. And hey, the times have changed. He's part of the show's main cast with his own title card. Like you said.
Yeah, we're going to have at least one more change to that title sequence, but that'll probably be the beginning of season 6 when there's no more Nick, which is really a sad thought.
And they don't ever add anybody else.
I don't think they do, no.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Ron Carey ends up being the last kind of main cast member added. Right?
I mean, I don't want to, I'm not swearing to this. I don't want Otto there like throwing stuff at his radio when he's at home. No, you fools. You fools.
How could you?
You forgot my favorite character, Shecky.
You forgot my favorite character, Mike. He returns.
The return of Mike, season 7. All Mike, all the time.
Yeah. That's what the final episode of this show should be called. Barney Miller, the return of Mike. Mike returns. That should be the way the final episode ends is just Mike comes in. He's like, where'd everybody go?
Right.
Like,
hello. I've got
here.
my soap. It's made from little pieces of other soap.
It's like the funniest way for the show to end. Chano just shows up at the end. Where'd everybody go?
Right. And then he's like babbles in Spanish.
Yeah. Or you have Hal Linden waking up in a bed next to Bob Newhart.
Oh, no, he wakes up next to Wentworth.
Oh, Wentworth. I had the craziest dream that I was a cop. Or he calls her, oh, no. Hal Linden wakes up in bed next to her and goes, Alice, I had the weirdest dream.
There you go. She's like, come on, Mel, let's go.
Yeah, and then they open the door and their mailman is fucking Wojciechowicz.
Oh.
And their next door neighbor is Ron Glass. And it's like he was always putting oh my God.
Yeah, boy. You were there and you and you.
Yeah, all of you were there. So you're gonna say it elsewhere very quickly.
Yeah. Wojo's this like 45-year-old special needs person with a snow globe.
Oh man. Barney Miller is just real dark at the end. The coda. It's like the coda at the end of the Dark Tower series. If you really want to know what happened in Barney Miller, watch past the end.
Yeah.
I will say now that we're kind of at the point where more than likely no one else is going to be added and it's just reducing by one, unfortunately. I'm okay with this being the cast for the rest of the show. Right? I mean, they really are firing on all cylinders. And even Ron Carey is kind of bringing his A game.
Yeah, but man, where's Luger? No Luger in these episodes.
Oh, James Gregory, add something. Why didn't he show up when Harris was in cross dress? Like, what was up with that?
Yeah.
Like, feels
Or
like
even
a perfect moment.
Or even the German lady could have been like, I fought some of these guys during the war.
Yeah. Just randomly say Nazis.
Yeah.
Say Krauts.
Krauts. He would say Krauts.
Krauts, yeah.
Jerry's gonna, they were always trying to take us over.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's that? I don't know. I miss James Gregory.
I do too.
He's part of the show. He's a main cast member. Get that man out here. He's not voicing dragons, James. Or doing whatever the fuck James Gregory was doing late in life, voicing dragons for Rankin and Bass.
He might have been putting on some ape makeup at this time as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Boy, that's right. Ape makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think these 3 episodes, the first one's a pretty stock and trade Barney Miller. The second one I think the first 2 are just kind of stock, and the third one's not great.
No. We'll hit duds as we go through here. So.
Yeah. As long as they're not all duds at once, as long as it's not 3 duds in a row, which we've kind of avoided that so far. So,
did Luger make the credits? Did they cut him out to make room for?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
I hope not.
All right. We'll have to pay attention next month when we come back and talk about Accusation, The Prisoner, and Loan Shark. We've got another episode directed by Max Gale coming up.
And Lieutenant Scanlon comes back in the next episode.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I'm excited. George Murdoch is a real asshole.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
He's just one of those actors that looks like an asshole.
He's what Luger could have been had he taken the dark path.
Yeah, for real, yeah. And Michael Tucci shows up again.
Oh, cool.
From Grease. That's the only thing I know him from.
Yeah, Potsy? No, that's pretty much...
Moopsie? I don't know what his character's name is.
It wasn't Potsy, I'll tell you that.
But... I don't think it's Moopsie either.
Yeah.
Sonny, that's what it is.
Closer to Moopsie, yeah. The Moops.
Hey.
It wasn't the Moops.
Hey, Moop. What up, Moopsie? I'm looking forward to it as always.
Yeah. Well, apparently, I don't think that James Gregory was in any of the Planet of the Apes TV series. He was just in the movie. So, General Ursus. Yeah.
I haven't seen those movies in a very long time.
They hold up. At least the first, third, and fourth do.
Which one is one that has Baby Milo?
Too. I want to say he gets born at the end of 3.
I just like that name.
Oh, yeah.
Baby Milo. It's just like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, until we talk again next month, Chris, all about Barney Miller, where can people find you?
cstashy.com is my link tree, cstachiw.com. That's my link tree. Go there for all the things that I work on. Culturecast. It's a movie podcast, Scary Stories We Tell. It's not a movie podcast. It's like a weird paranormal true crime. And then we mentioned it already a couple times, but it bears repeating. Rankin' on Bass, where we talk about Rankin' on Bass stuff, both the Christmas, the live action, and everything in between. And we do talk about James Gregory on an episode where we talk about The Flight of the Dragons, where James Gregory voices a dragon. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, go check that episode out.
Yeah, we even get to talk about him in Columbo as well. And we'll talk about him another time when we talk about The Most Crucial Game, I think it's called.
Right. I forgot that he's in that Columbo episode.
Yeah, very...
It's kind of like not in it enough to save the episode.
Yeah.
But he's in it, and he's kind of playing a dick. So
yeah,
kind of playing a dickhead, like the dickhead version of Luger that we first kind of run into in this show. What about you, Mike? Where can people find you?
You can always find me over at the Projection Booth, which is available at projectionboothpodcast.com. And that's where I've got all my links to all the shows and all that kind of stuff as well. So before we head out, I want to thank John Walker for our theme song. I want to thank Anne Maggie Dion for our cover art. And I want to thank you for listening to this show. Continue to listen, please, and rate and review the show wherever you find it. We would appreciate it.
Make sure to pick up Otto Bruno's book.
Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24 related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.